First off, how did he know that I was seeing the psychologist in the first place? For him to be doing all that.
Because I said I think something is. I felt like as his parent, and because you had to go over there to your dad's, and I needed him to know. I wanted him to know what was going on with you, and what was happening, so that they could treat you, accordingly. Because if you have some needs or special needs, him and his wife, they needed to know how to handle you. Because from my understanding, you were getting fussed at and yelled at about stuff that was, stuff that was normal for you, but they need to understand that, hey, this is how he eats. Because you would eat the same thing constantly. You wouldn't change. Like, even now, you eat the same thing, and you'll change it up. And once you change it, you stick to that. Then you'll change it, and then you'll stick to that. Like, once you get onto something, you just stay on it. Like, when you went into that Shrek phase, like, you were Shrek. All the things Shrek. And then once you change that, you were, like, once you get on something, you just stay on it. And then you got into politics, you just going hard with that. Yes, you did. And then...
No, that I remember.
Yes, you did. Yeah. I needed him to know so that we could be on the same page. But we never got on the same page.
Yeah. Of course, because he never accepted my diagnosis. Then he still to this day won't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me mad. It actually makes me mad that he doesn't accept it.
Because
truly, that's what I'm always saying. He truly just doesn't understand me or know me at all.
Right.
Even though he thinks he does, but he doesn't.
Right. And that was the thing. That's why he and I never saw eye to eye. And I pretty much did this by myself because he never would accept it. He wouldn't make the changes. Like if you, like, you kind of would talk to yourself sometimes.
I still do.
And you still do. And you talk to, and not everybody talks to themselves, but you do it in a different way to where it's like full-fledged conversations. You repeat yourself a lot. You still repeat yourself a lot. And what was the main question you asked me? Like, when did you get diagnosed?
No, like,
well,
what made...
Yes, your speech. It was mainly your speech. Your speech was very delayed. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to take him. And then, like I said, you would just do different things. And then socially, like you played by yourself. You were a loner. You never, like, you were just fine playing by yourself. You wouldn't just actively go play with friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't just, like, if there was a bunch of kids, you'd be off by yourself. Mm-hmm. And you weren't like sad and lonely. You were like actually happy. Just playing by yourself. Mm-hmm. I tried to get you to play with other people, and you'd start off and then you just end up wandering off by yourself with your tics. And like when there would be a ceiling fan going, you would just sit there and your head would just go around. Yeah. You do remember. Exactly. I'd be like, what? Stop. And then even when we went out in public, like when you would meet people, I would have to stop you from just hugging everybody and just thinking all strangers were good. Sometimes you'll look at me to see, is it okay for me to hug or greet this person? I have to kind of be like, well, yeah, it's okay. Because I had to teach you about boundaries. Now you kind of look at me like, should I? Because you used to just hug everybody and just shake everybody's hand and just, like, you just was, what's the word? Aloof? Like in your own world. And you've been like that to this day. And what, you're 19? Mm-hmm. You just started wearing 2 socks. Like in the last year or two. Mm-hmm. Whenever we went out to eat that time, when Peyton came, you had on 1 sock that day. And that was just 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So at 17, you were still walking around with 1 sock. And it's something I read about years ago about the texture. It's just something about the texture of the sock. And you're still wearing mixed match socks right now as we speak, but it's okay.
No, that's just
you being lazy and not wanting to put the socks. Oh my God.
Yeah, to me socks is a sock.
That's true, but you used to literally only wear one sock, and that was up until you're 17. And then the strange thing, the doctor said you had bones of a 30-year-old. So I don't know. He said your bones are older than your actual age, but they said you're 19. They said. The doctor said that when you were 16, that you're really 14. They were just saying that you're like 2 years behind your biological age. But now it seems like you've either caught up and so you're doing tics right now. And sometimes you'll just drift off when somebody's talking, and then you'll come back to the conversation. And I can tell when I'm talking to you.
I'm listening right now.
Right now you're listening because I'm talking to you about listening.
No, Mom, I was listening to you the whole entire conversation, Mom.
Yeah, but sometimes
you was talking about talking about
baby, that was 10 minutes ago. I'm literally talking to you right now about something else. And what you do, I'm telling you what you do. I'll be talking to you and you'll just go off with your eyes, your mouth starts talking about something else, you're looking, and then you'll come back to our conversation. And therefore I wait for you to come back, and I don't talk about anything important. I wait for you to come back to this present conversation, and then I keep going. It's just who you are. You do, because you get involved in the conversation, and then you'll start repeating over and over certain aspects of the conversation. Like when you'll walk off, you'll start repeating it, and I hear you.
Okay. So where do you think autism comes from? Like, is it just natural? It's just there?
Well,
do you get it from somebody?
I'll say this. Your dad and about 3 other men in his family directly have the same kind of mannerism. I'll just put it like that because, to protect other people. There's just a lot of aloofness. I'll just say that. A lot of aloofness, and it's the same type of mannerism to me. But like people say it came from vaccines. It came from, when you were a baby and you got a vaccine. But, I just think I like to just say it's a gift, and it's your superpower. It makes you different, and you are different. Yes, Lord, you are different. But I embrace that, but I know when you were smaller, though, especially as black people, as black women, we would do all that fussing and yelling when you were really just being you. And I also learned that I cannot give you more than 2 or 3 instructions or directives like I used to do, like I do with your sister. Like I could tell your sister, go wash my car, cut the light off, go take this to the post office and buy me some eggs. By the time I said car wash and turn the lights off, or the second one, you'd be like, what'd you say again? Or you'll go do the first one, and then you go back up to the room as if I didn't give you the second one. I'd be like, boy, what about this trash? Oh, okay, I'm coming right now. So I used to fuss about that, but now I just give you one thing at a time, and then I'll maybe text you the other one.
How about this? Let me ask. So did the doctor tell you not to give me more instructions?
Yes, they did. Yes. Oh, I'll tell you about that. So the doctors, after you went through all those tests, they sat me down and they were like, okay, he needs to be on medication, because they also said you had ADHD. So I was like, well, I don't want to put him on medication, because at that time, remember, I was, wherever you went to school, I was there, like either as a sub or working at the daycare, or I had my own daycare at home and you was there with me when I had my licensed home daycare, and I would have you there. And they were like, he's going to need to be on medication for the ADHD part. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put on medication because I saw how kids were like, zoned out or doped up and just not there. And I just wanted to do something different just for me. So there's nothing wrong with medication. Let's get that straight if people want to do that. So they said, well, if you don't put them on medication, you have to do a lot of work, like a lot of redirecting, repeating yourself. And I did that for probably the majority of your life, repeating the same things. Like, Jaden, we just talked about this, or whatever it was. it's gotten better over the last 3-4 years. You know, I speak over you a lot, and I speak over your body, your mind, and stuff. But they were like, you're gonna have to repeat yourself, get a lot of manipulatives at home, a lot of things to games and activities to like keep his mind and things like that, and keep him focused. So I did that. That's why we played a lot of games, a lot of board games. I talked to you a lot and repeat. And then they were like, you're going to have to just keep doing this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep doing it. And no, boxing was not going to solve it. Mm-hmm. I know he wanted to put you in boxing.
I was only in it because he just kept promoting it and all that.
Yeah, but that was like right around the time that you were getting, you know, into school. And it's like, this boy has, you know, this diagnosis, and you want to put him in boxing? No. And so then so that's why you were in those ARDs all the time, and he never came to an ARD.
What's an ARD?